On Swarm Hat. So this is a video about how Nashas model just doesn't match reality at all. It's just a fake dream universe. I hate the word universe because it brings up, triggers these notions of huge, unimaginably large, and all of that stuff is fake. It's a small world after all. Now when I go outside and I see the stars, I feel that they are so close. It's just so close. Everything's so close. The sun's so close. The moon's so close. I can talk about my theories on those anyways. But this is just a video about how Nashas model makes no sense. The seasons prove it. So I've had videos about the seasons before. Here's how the seasons work. It's like really simple. When in the winter, so the moon is cold, the sun is hot. And these things are becoming more and more apparent now. Like the sun is way brighter than it was in the 90s and things like that. Way brighter. Now when you're in the sun, it's just like you get a suntan in 5 seconds. It didn't used to be like that. That's biblical. It's end times prophecy. And the moon is, you can really feel the cold. So that's something that they don't teach you. They don't teach you this stuff because this is stuff that brings you closer to God. It confirms the Bible and a lot of what Book of Enoch talks about. So the moon, it really does have a cold light. Proof of this, I was watching this all winter, this winter, and like I said, the sun is brighter and more powerful than it used to be, but the moon is also brighter and more of a cooling effect than it used to. In the winter, if things that are in moon shade, so like the moonlight, you get shade, and you can even see it. Like moon shade is very noticeable these days because the moon is so bright. Anyways, moon shade is warmer. And because I had my car parked in my driveway, and I have trees, and they gave shade to half of my car. Only half of my car would ice over. It would be the half that didn't have moon shade. So yeah, the moon is cold, the sun is hot, and that's the seasons work like this. Right now in the summer, the sun is so high up in the sky already. It's so. During the summer, the sun is high up in the sky, and it's in the sky for a long time. So it makes things hot. And during the summer, the moon, which is the cooling effect, is low in the sky, and it doesn't stay out very long. So it's this balance. During the summer, you have more sun, less moon, so hot. And then, in fall and spring, they're more equalized. And then in the winter, the sun is low in the sky, and it doesn't come out for very long. And the moon is high up in the sky, and it's out all the time. In the winter, the moon is in the sky a lot more. And usually we wouldn't notice that because the sun is usually so bright that you wouldn't see the moon in the sky at the same time as the sun, except for near sunrise and sunset, I think, or if the conditions are just right. But nowadays, because the moon is so bright, which again is end times prophecy, it's Isaiah, I believe. The moon is so bright now that day moon is just, if the moon is out during the day, you're going to see it now because it's so bright. And again, these things should be making you excited that Jesus Christ is coming back. You shouldn't be afraid of it. The tranny creatures are so afraid of all these signs. Like, the moon did not used to be out in the day every single day, okay? It's end times prophecy. There will be signs in the skies. These are the signs. Do you remember growing up seeing the moon in the sky every single day? Nowadays, you can see it in the sky. If there's a moon in the sky, you're going to see it. So yeah, the seasons, and that's it. None of it makes sense with NASA, right? Because when you start paying attention to the sky, the sun, it travels on. I believe in Enoch. I believe in Enoch astrology. Astronomy, whatever. I mean, I hate all of those words. Like, what should we just call it? The heavens? I more take like an Enoch approach to the heavens. There is a firmament. I don't know what it's made out of, but I'll just tell you what I think the sky is. So I think the sky is a big projection device. And because the sun and the moon, I think they're local. I think everybody has their own sun. I think everybody has their own moon, just like everybody has their own rainbow. I think that's how the sun and moon work. You know, the sun and the moon are really local. They're really, really close, right? But you can drive across country all day. That doesn't mean that there's a million different, it just means that it's an optical thing that follows you. So that's what I believe it is. I believe the firmament is like a giant projection device that shows us things that are inside the firmament, because the Bible's pretty clear. The sun and the moon and the stars and things like that, they're inside of the firmament. So what I believe, I think the firmament is just a giant projector screen, basically. Well, and it holds the waters away from us and things like that. But, and you know, the Bible talks about the firmament rolling up like a scroll. I think the firmament's just a huge projection device that allows us to see inside of the firmament. We can see the sun, but I don't think that we're actually, when we see the sun in the sky, I don't think that we're actually like directly seeing the object that's the sun. I think it's an optical, you're seeing like a projection of the sun. And same thing with the moon. I don't think, when you're looking at the moon, and you can even see it looks like a light, but I believe it's a type of projection. Anyways, that's what I think. And I think that if you actually look at the sun and you look at the moon, you'll notice it changes too quick. The patterns, and so here's how you know that NASA's full of BS. It's all BS. The seasons come and go, like the transition between seasons is so quick. And then it'll hang out at it's like spring to summer. It's like somebody just flips a switch, and then it's like, okay, now we're at summer for a long time. And then boom, you're in fall. It's because I believe that it's more like what Enoch says, that the sun travels on these different tracks. You know, this place is real. God really made this place. It's physical. And so the sun really is something. And yeah, I think it makes more sense that it's an object traveling on these different tracks through the firmament. And it has certain tracks for different seasons. Anyways, so yeah, if you just pay attention, it's the changes are too drastic, and then it just hangs out in a season for a while. So if you're on a ball wobbling and spinning, it just seriously makes no sense. Like the NASA model doesn't make any sense. And it'll never match reality, really, unless you're just BSing yourself, and unless you're just, because it just never will match. You know, and of course, like people talk about this one all the time, but it's always a good one. The moon is out in the daytime so often now that you can just look at the angles. The moon, it makes its own light. It's not being lit up by the sun. That's just stupid. The angles don't even match. So, yeah, I think I talked about a lot of what I wanted to talk about. Everything's really close. And they make you think of these, it's all to take you away from God. It's to make you feel small, insignificant. No, man was made in the image of God, and this earth, it was the only thing that was made for us. And everything in the heavens was just made for us to look at. It's every little speck in the heaven, they want you to think is another universe, another world with different alien creatures, and they want you to think that there's a million. I mean, million's not even a big number anymore for these trannies. They just keep making up these fake numbers that don't even exist. And, you know, all those Hubble telescope images, and it's just fake. They want you to think that you're nothing, but you're actually extremely important. I mean, you're a child of God. It's very important. And everything that they do is to take you away from that idea. And they just want you to think that you're just randomness, you know. And, yep. So that's it for this video. God bless everybody.